Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at Grotmas calendar day 19, the ADEPTA SORORITAS. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Grotmas calendar day 19. O come, all ye faithful. Sing a song of praise. Today's Grotmas calendar detachment is none other than the Champions of Faith for the ADEPTA SORORITAS. When a truly vital mission must be completed, the ADEPTA SORORITAS assemble their most skilled and pious warriors. Whether they muster in the marshalling cloister of a holy shrine, aboard a dropship thundering through the hostile skies, or even up upon an open field of war amid fountaining explosions and heaped corpses, these handpicked champions of the Imperial Creed halt long enough to kneel as one and pray to the God Emperor. Only once they have sworn irrevocable oaths to the Master of Mankind, promising they will die before failing him, do they advance, bound by the promises they have made and sure in the knowledge that they are the finest exemplars of their order. These champions of faith stride out with unshakable purpose and fiercely focused determination to prevail no matter the cost. The detachment focuses on the most devout of the devout, the Celestians. Their righteous purpose adds one to the OC of Celestial Sacrosancts, and lets players discard miracle dice to make Battle Sisters, Celestial Sacrosancts, and Paragon Warsuits righteous. While the unit is righteous, it is braver, it moves faster, and it fights harder, for the glory of the Master of Mankind. Righteous units are rewarded for their devotion elsewhere in the detachment as well. For example, the Mark of Devotion adds one to the attack characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons, but while they are righteous, it adds another attack and a point of damage as well, making any character into a threat to be feared. To the Heart of Heresy succinctly describes the purpose of the detachment: to take the purity of the Sisters of Battle and use it to torch and burn out the evil at the source. This stratagem grants additional strength to your units in the fight phase and additional armor penetration as well if they are righteous. Alright, so very cool. Let's take a look at the new ADEPTA SORORITAS detachment. So here we have the Champions of Faith. And keep in mind that we're going to keep the existing army rule for the ADEPTA SORORITAS, so we're going to be using our miracle dice as well, but we're going to exchange out our current detachment for this new detachment. Detachment rule: righteous purpose. In your command phase, you can discard up to 3 of your miracle dice. For each discarded, you can select one ADEPTA SORORITAS unit from your army. Until the start of your next command phase, the unit is righteous. While a unit is righteous, add 1 inch to the move characteristic of models in the unit. Improve the leadership characteristic of models in the unit by 1. Improve the weapon skill and ballistic skill characteristic of weapons equipped by Battle Sister Squads, Celestial Sacrosancts, and Paragon Warsuits models in the unit by 1. Alright, so given the recent changes to Miracle Dice, you're not going to have as many to throw away, but this gives you an opportunity to essentially throw away some of your 1s and 2s to gain movement, leadership, weapon skill, and ballistic skill on either Battle Sisters, Celestial Sacrosancts, or Paragon Warsuits. And then keywords: while Celestial Sacrosancts units from your army is not battle shocked, add 1 to the objective control characteristic of Celestial Sacrosancts models in this unit. So all your Sacrosancts are going to go up 1 OC. So obviously you're incentivized to take quite a few Sacrosancts and then also Paragon Warsuits in this detachment. And then we have our 4 new enhancements. Triptych of Judgment, 15 points, ADEPTA SORORITAS model only. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack, you can ignore any and all modifiers to the attack's ballistic skill or weapon skill, characteristics, and any or all modifiers to the hit roll. So pretty good to counteract some of the debuff armies out there. And then we have Mark of Devotion, 30 points, ADEPTA SORORITAS model only, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons. While the bearer's unit is righteous, add 2 to the attacks characteristic and add 1 to the damage characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons instead. Okay, so this isn't going to be able to affect Paragon Warsuits because there's no characters you can attach to them, but assume you want to put this on your Sacrosancts, you're going to be able to add 2 to the attack and then 1 to the damage as well. You're going to add quite a bit of damage output. And then we have the Eyes of the Oracle, 10 points, ADEPTA SORORITAS model only. The bearer's weapons have the precision ability. Each time the bearer's unit destroys an enemy character model, you gain 1 command point. So 10 points to give one of your characters precision, which is pretty nice. It is shooting and combat, and then each time you pick off one of your opponent's characters, you can gain a command point. So not a bad way to gain 1 or 2 command points throughout a battle. And then we have the Sanctified Amulet, 25 points, ADEPTA SORORITAS model only. Enemy units that are set up on the battlefield from reserves cannot be set up within 12 inches of the bearer. So we have a Deep Strike Null Zone, 25 points. Pretty good. Obviously, this is a very strong ability. Unfortunately, it's just on the actual character themselves, so it's not going to come out from the entire unit. So not bad at all, but definitely not the strongest way to have this ability. Now a quick word from today's sponsor, CMO Games. CMO Games carries a full range of Games Workshop products including miniatures, paint, terrain, tools, and more. They take pre-orders for most Games Workshop new releases as early as possible, usually 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. CMO Games offers 15% off of MSRP for most all Games Workshop products and offer fast free shipping to the continental United States on orders over $50. Most orders ship out within 24 hours. You know their customer service is top-notch as they've been selling games online for over 20 years. Use the affiliate link below and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you. Alright, and then we have 6 new stratagems. First is Shield of Denial. 1 command point, any phase just after a mortal wound is allocated to an ADEPTA SORORITAS unit from your army. That ADEPTA SORORITAS unit, until the end of the phase, models in your unit have a Feel No Pain 6 up against mortal wounds. If your unit is righteous, until the end of the phase, models in your unit have a 5 up Feel No Pain against mortal wounds. Okay, so you're only ever really going to do this on a righteous unit. Giving them a Feel No Pain of 5 up against mortal wounds is definitely good, but it's only if they're righteous. I think realistically, this should have been a 5 up and then gone to a 4 up if they were righteous, as lots of other armies already have this ability for way cheaper, because they're already spending a miracle die to make the unit righteous, and then you're spending a command point, and then when it's all said and done, you're just getting a Feel No Pain 5 up. So not bad, but definitely not the strongest. Suffer Not the Unfaithful. 1 command point. 1 ADEPTA SORORITAS unit from your army that is righteous that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Effect, select either the lethal hits or sustained hits ability. Until the end of the phase, weapons equipped by models in your unit have the selected ability. So again, not bad for 1 command point to gain either lethal hits or sustained hits. But again, you see a lot of other armies don't have to spend the miracle die, and then they just have 1 command point to gain lethal or sustained hits. And you're only able to do this on your righteous units. Then we have Path of the Righteous, 1 command point, fight phase, 1 ADEPTA SORORITAS unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Effect, until the end of the turn, each time a model in your unit makes a pylon or consolidation move, it can move up to 6 instead of 3. When doing so, if the unit is righteous, it does not need to end that move closer to the closest enemy model, provided it ends the move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. Alright, so 1 command point for a 6-inch pylon and consolidation, very strong ability. You're going to potentially be gaining up to 12 inches of movement during the fight phase. And then also it removes the restriction that you have to move towards the closest model as long as you end closer to the closest enemy unit. So you can use this to get a lot more of a move out of it rather than just moving straight towards the closest model. So very strong. And then we also have Bastion of Faith, 1 command point, fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, 1 Celestial Sacrosanct unit that was selected as a target of 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Effect, until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. In addition, if the unit is righteous, you can select 1 other Celestial Sacrosanct unit from your army that is not battle shocked and is within 6 inches of your unit. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets that Celestial Sacrosanct unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll as well. So in the fight phase, you can give your opponent -1 to hit 1 of your Celestial Sacrosanct units, or if you have 2 units within 6 inches of each other, both Celestial Sacrosancts, you can subtract 1 from the hit roll for both those units. So not bad, but very limited with Celestial Sacrosancts only, and then also very limited that you have to have 2 squads right next to each other. And then we have To the Heart of Heresy, 1 command point in the fight phase. 1 ADEPTA SORORITAS unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the turn, improve the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in the unit by 1. If the unit is righteous, until the end of the phase, improve the armor penetration characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in the unit by 1 as well. So 1 command point to gain +1 strength in melee, or if you're righteous, +1 strength and +1 AP. So you're only ever really going to do this to hit a breakpoint, or if your unit is righteous and you need the extra AP. Again, very limited. And then we have Indefatigable Dedication, 1 command point. Your movement phase just after an ADEPTA SORORITAS unit from your army falls back. That ADEPTA SORORITAS unit, until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it fell back. If your unit is righteous, until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and charge in a turn in which it fell back. So again, definitely a good strat. 1 command point to fall back and shoot, or fall back, shoot, and charge if you're righteous. But again, many other armies or detachments out there have just 1 command point to fall back, shoot, and charge. So I think a lot of these stratagems are good, but they're very limited, and in order to gain the second ability, you have to be righteous. In order to be righteous, you have to throw away a miracle die. You're already going to get some bonuses from throwing away that miracle die, but you're also spending a command point on the stratagem. So definitely a cool detachment, pretty thematic. The righteous ability is not bad, but you're going to be discarding miracle dice, which now you're not going to have as many of as you would have previously before the nerfs. And you're really only gaining +1 move, +1 leadership, and then you're getting +1 weapon skill or ballistic skill on only those 3 specific units. So overall, I think this detachment is decent, but I think it's definitely underpowered. This was probably written before the nerfs came out, and you lost quite a bit of your miracle dice. Just the changes from getting 1 miracle dice per turn to 1 battle round means you're going to have 5 less for the game. And now suddenly, whenever your units are dying, you're only going to get 1 for the phase, not 1 for each unit that dies. So you're going to have substantially less miracle dice. You're not going to have 15 miracle dice throughout the game to be powering up 3 different units per turn. So you're going to have to be rather selective on what units you put this on. Overall, I think it's decent. There's definitely some play here, but I don't think it's going to be taking the meta by storm. So let me know if you are a Sisters of Battle player, what you think of this new detachment. It's definitely cool. It's leaning in on the Sacrosancts, getting 1 extra OC, leaning in on the righteous ability and like the dual purpose strats, which is definitely cool. And I'm sure there's some play here, but I don't think it's broken by any means. but let me know if you have a different opinion down in the comments. As always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products, and make sure to tell them that Warhammer Man sent you. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.